There it is. Good evening. Welcome to the workshop session of the Lewisville City Council. We do have a quorum at 6:15 p.m. First up on the agenda tonight is discussion of our consent and regular agenda items. We also then have an update on the Hamptons Mixed Use Project at FM 407 and I-35. First up on the agenda, I have an invocation from Councilmember Meredith, followed by pledges to the flags by Councilmember Troyer. Item C1, public hearing, boundary amendment, and increase in project costs for reinvestment zone number 4. Questions or comments on that? Item C2, public hearing, consideration on ordinance of Lewisville City Council amending the zoning ordinance by rezoning 35.694 acres of land at Lakeside Crossing.
What was the reason for the change request?
There's just several reconfiguration issues, particularly in 2 of the sub-districts. Mixed-use district, they're moving the commercial from the center up to the intersection and going from a podium style to more of a traditional wrap on the remainder of the building. And then the urban living district towards the center, they're reducing the number of units. They are bringing the parking requirements up to 1.6 units, 1.6 spaces per unit, which we have found works very well in Lewisville. They're also slightly reconfiguring the layout of the parking, which is still behind the building, so the buildings will still appear to be very urban along the streets. But they are going more with a parking deck with surface parking surrounding that instead of having the buildings connected to a parking garage in a traditional wrap format.
So this said it's going from PDMU to PDMU. I'm assuming that's just legal talk that we had to put it that way because it's not really changing zoning at all. It's just the layout. Is that right?
It's really being submitted to concept plan.
All right, thank you.
Other questions on item 2? Item E, consent agenda, approval of the minutes. Item 4, E4, approval of professional services agreement with HDR Engineering for the Feaster Water Treatment Plant. Item 5, approval of the 4th amendment to the developer agreement between Russell Glenn and the City of Lewisville. Item 6, approval of supplemental appropriations for the prior year encumbrances and multiple accounts. Item 7, regular hearing, consideration of a resolution acknowledging the 2026 for public services cost of service rates.
I have a question about that. It feels like we were out of pocket a good bit from that turnover where we spent a lot of time out finding the Republic. Do we do any kind of a recapture of those costs that we were out?
Not directly, but we are actively pursuing liquidated damages whenever they fail. So that is
okay.
That
so that's the vehicle for that. It's not
yes.
this. Okay, thank you.
So how does that work?
So there's stipulations in the contract based on number of failures and number of repeated failures. So we're tracking all of that, and then when they violate that, we actually charge them those charges.
So is this the last year of the 15-year? Is that why it was down to 4.4%?
Yeah, do you want to explain that, how do you do the calculations?
Yeah, so I can explain. So that basically there's 2 limitations on that rate increase. There's one per year and then one over, I think, where's Jason, 4 year. So we're in the 4th year of.
Yeah, it's rolling every 4 years it recalculates. So or every year it recalculates with the previous 3 years essentially.
So it's the rolling 4-year cap that is what's limiting it below what they could do in a single year.
Okay.
Which is a great little provision on these types of contracts.
Actually, this time worked out pretty good. Having that.
All right. There are no other questions on that one. We roll into reports. We do have our quarterly investment report that's available in your packet. Any questions on that? And then G2, City Council and staff reports. The only report I have from staff is our Director of Parks and Recreation. we have any closed session tonight?
Yeah.
Outstanding. All right, if there are no further questions on the agenda, we'll go ahead and move on to an update on the Hamptons mixed-use project at 407 and I-35. Marichelle Samples is introducing Terrence Maiden.
Okay, so as you're all aware, this agreement was approved back in 2021, in December of 2021, and we have spent a lot of time with Terrence and his team talking about the site plan and the configuration, talking about potential users over the years, and we are finally at a point where the developer is ready to submit for rezoning. So the agreement requires that the rezoning happens prior to closing on the property. So the amendment that is before you today on the council agenda will extend the agreement for up to 1 more year, which will give them time to go through the rezoning process and close on the property. But before we continue down that route, we wanted to have a checkpoint with you all and have Terrence and his team come and present and share some updates to the plan, get some feedback from you all so that we have that in the forefront of our minds as we are going through, helping Terrence go through the rezoning process. So, and as you see, he's rebranded, and so Terrence will talk a little bit about that as well. It's formerly the Hamptons, now Lake District West. As a reminder, we rebranded that whole area, both this side of the highway and the lake redevelopment area as Lake District. So this will be Lake District West, and the lake area will be Lake District East. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Terrence Maiden, who's the CEO of Russell Glenn, and he'll introduce his team and present and hopefully get some feedback from y'all.
Well, thank you, Marichelle and Mayor Gilmore and Council. It's great to be in front of you again. Again, I'm Terrence Maiden, CEO of Russell Glenn. Marichelle mentioned we've been working on this for quite some time. We had a couple of false starts with a major grocery store that we were trying to track here. So we have to go back to the drawing board here, and we spent some time with the city of Lewisville and Marichelle and Richard and his team really trying to come up with a master plan to move this project forward. So I briefly discussed our team. Again, I'm Terrence Maiden, Russell Glenn. We're a Dallas-based real estate development firm. I've been in the business for about 26 years now. We focus on master plan, mixed-use developments, and grocery-anchored projects really across the southwest of the U.S. And then I have Arthur, who's the vice president of Corinth Properties, Frank Bielopoulos, the owner of Corinth Properties. Couldn't be here this evening, he had knee surgery, but Frank and I have worked together for about 18 years, so we have a great working relationship, and we thought we were bringing them in to help with sort of the retail strategy. So I talked a little bit about my background. You may have previewed this ahead of time, but Frank has a rich history in the real estate development business, started Corinth Properties in 1983 and 45 years of experience. This is Arthur. I'm not sure if you want to share a little bit about that.
No, thank you all for letting us be here tonight and for your time. We're super excited about this project. Frank sends his thanks as well. He couldn't make it, as Terrence mentioned, but Frank's been active in the business in DFW here for 40 plus years. I think the one thing as you look through our projects and Terrence's projects, 100 Oaks Mall in Nashville, but more locally here, El Dorado Plaza in McKinney, Cedar Hill, the plaza at Cedar Hill and Cedar Hill at 67 there in southern Dallas, Glen Oaks Crossing. We really take pride in our projects. They're projects that we take a lot of time on the front end with design, materials, and if you look 10, 20, 30 years later, they're projects that are still fully leased today. He likes to say, retail, the users all change over time with consumer changes and macro trends, but if you build it right, it lasts. And so we're really excited to partner with the community here. We're really excited about this corner. We think there's a ton of potential here for a truly regional entertainment retail district with some of the design elements we'll talk about tonight. So just wanted to portray that and thank you again for your time.
So we only have 15 minutes to present, so we're going to get through this fairly quick, but we'd like to invite our design teams, Studio Moss, Santos Catalan, and Joel, sort of talk about their team and sort of their background.
Well, thank you for having us again. Really excited team here to collaborate. We're a group of architects, designers, and master planners based in Dallas, been in business for 20 plus years. And we've been master planning mixed-use projects really on the creative side, placemaking, really creating spaces that engage the community. We're involved with Hillcrest Plaza here in Dallas, my business partner. This is a project that we're working in North Lake, right on 114. The green space really becomes a great anchor for, these community-rich developments. And we always focus on that experience of having the pedestrian, the journey coming from, the residential families, really active spaces with facades and buildings that are really talking, four-sided buildings that are really talking to the pedestrian experience, a little bit more of that. Just green space over the last few years has really taken just a big role on that. We worked as well in this project in Dallas. You might be familiar with from the old Valley View Mall a while back. The boardwalk, my business partner Randy worked on that. In this case, there's no green space, but they had a retention pond that became really the anchor, and just pedestrian experience. Focus really helps, so people don't like to walk alongside blank walls. So that's just a little bit of our experience, and this has been a really great experience working for this project.
Yeah, so when we started to reevaluate the master plan, when we pivoted from HEB to create more of a sort of mixed-use destination development, we wanted to get the best in class, and so that's why we wanted to partner with Studio Moss to help us sort of envision what this 25 acres could be. As Mayor Shell alluded to earlier, they went through a process to rebrand the Lake District, and so we really wanted to build off of that synergy and catalyst. And in addition, the 25 acres, in our opinion, is really centered at this intersection very nicely, and I think it's very visible. It creates a unique opportunity to create connectivity to Nora and some of the other things that are happening at that intersection. So a lot of that played in sort of our sort of visioning of what we think the intersection and project could look like. And so for us, we really want to focus on connectivity. That's really the emphasis. There's been a lot of investment in that at that intersection, and we want to figure out a way to sort of be that conduit and bridge to all that activity. So you're probably familiar with the land areas, but it's 25 acres. We're envisioning shops and retail, entertainment, office, and hotel. This gives you an aerial view of the site. So again, as I mentioned earlier, it connects to Nora. You have Heritage Trail. You have the new village at Lewisville that's under construction. And then you have Frontier that's right across the street with Madad. So Census, I don't know if you want to sort of walk us through.
Oh yes, absolutely. So Nora is down the street. We look at this, a vehicular, but also a pedestrian connection that goes throughout the site in a kind of organic way. We have, of course, the paths around the perimeter, but we're really focused on that green space at the center where there could be entertainment, restaurants, and people could just outflow into the park where there'll be families playing while parents are having a nice dinner at the restaurants. This is going to be a pedestrian street. We're showing as paving, and it'll have bollards here. So that really is, we're required to have it for fire access, and we will also like the opportunity to have, food trucks. So, that will really energize this area. Also, along that, we're proposing a wellness trail all around the property, which will also connect back, to Nora at 2 points, here and here. We are required to have water retention, which again connects back to the Great Lawn. This is an option where there's a possible entertainment user that has also a green component, and this intersection just becomes a very lush green space. Again, we also anchor the green space with a hotel. That would be really bringing a lot of energy along that way. So.
Yeah, to Santo's point, what we really try to do is look at what's happening in sort of North Texas and how development is sort of shaping. And what we're seeing a lot of is these parks becoming the new anchor It creates a center of activity. It can be heavily programmed. It's a place where it's family friendly, but also you can have restaurants that have their patios facing it. So we see this as a true opportunity to create a lot of activity at the heart of at the intersection. The other thing that I want to point out here is this sort of easement here is an atmos easement, so it doesn't allow us to build on top of it, but we still wanted to maximize this opportunity by creating like a walking trail that could connect Nora over to the intersection. This gives us another option as well. The previous site plan showed a potential anchor that has a putt-putt concept that's tied to it. This gives us another option if we want to go more office and just a traditional anchor building. We just want a little bit more flexibility with this 6 acres there, but still keeping the heart of the project with the park there and the regional retention and also the connectivity to some of the other properties. This gives you more of an aerial perspective. So we were thinking about massing and scaling up, and so where it's visible from the interstate, but once you get into this pocket park area, it feels a little bit more intimate. It doesn't feel like you're right off an interstate, so we intentionally position these buildings and restaurants as a barrier for sound. This gives you another just sort of aerial view of what the project would look
Right,
like.
as you can see, this has become really, very nice scale park with, a lot of activity with restaurants, possibly, restaurant on the base of that office building when that comes. And, the energy coming from the entertainment user for this option. And then, having this retention here, which, is meant to look a lot more organic and natural in character.
This gives you just another angle of the view, looking back at the restaurants. And this is a night view. And this gives you sort of just a feel of the architectural design elements that we're looking to incorporate with the buildings. Looking for more natural, a lot of masonry brick, make it look more modern and inviting.
Hotel scale, office.
This is sort of the park green space. We've engaged a company called Studio Outside to help us really think through how we program and design the park area. So that's the end of our presentation. We can go back to the plan and open it up for any questions you all may have for us.
We know if that picture, that fountain, is there, that the Corps is going to allow us to do that?
That's not on a,
That's not?
no, that
Okay.
part's not. It's actually the cattle pond you're thinking of is south of, or not south,
Yes.
south of it, yeah.
Okay, oh yeah, you're right, it's further down. Actually, I know Studio Outside, so I'm glad you're using,
Yeah, they're a good group. Yeah, we've used them
because they're
previously.
involved in Texas Trees, and so that's a good group there too.
All right, well, thank you. We really appreciate you having us. And Mayor Shell, if you all have any additional questions afterwards, we're happy to answer.
Really appreciate your perseverance on the project.
Appreciate it.
It's going to be beautiful, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, thank you. Happy holidays to you all as well.
Thanks. Any questions or comments? All right, we have nothing further to do back here, so we'll go ahead and move on. Regular session starts at 7 o'clock. So enjoy your turkey. Good evening, it's 7 o'clock. Maybe? Hello, Mike. Here we go. Good evening, it's 7 o'clock, and we would like to welcome you to this regular session of the Lewisville City Council. We do have a quorum. First up on tonight's agenda, we have an invocation with Councilmember William Meredith.
Please join me in a moment of silent contemplation. Thank you.
Councilmember Troyer?
Please join me in the pledges to the U.S. and Texas flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, first up on tonight's agenda, public hearing, item C1, continued public hearing, consideration of a boundary amendment and increase in project costs for reinvestment zone number 4, City of Lewisville, Texas, and consideration of an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council approving a final tax increment reinvestment zone project and finance plan for reinvestment zone number 4, City of Lewisville, Texas, including an amendment to the project costs of reinvestment zone number 4, City of Lewisville, Texas, and adding certain property to the boundaries of reinvestment zone number 4, City of Lewisville, Texas, making certain findings, providing a severability clause, and providing for an effective date. In accordance with the Texas Tax Increment Financing Act, Chapter 311, Texas Tax Code, a public hearing is required before the City Council may adopt an ordinance approving certain amendments to a tax increment reinvestment zone. The property ordinance seeks to, or the proposed ordinance seeks to, 1, amend the authorized project costs in the tax increment reinvestment zone project and financing plan for reinvestment zone number 4, City of Lewisville, Texas, and 2, expand the zone boundaries to include additional property within the Lake Park area. Notice of this public hearing was published in the Denton Record Chronicle, a newspaper of general circulation within the city, at least 7 days prior to the hearing, as required by the statute. During this hearing, interested persons are given the opportunity to speak for or against the proposed amendment to the project costs, the expansion of the zone boundaries, and or the concept of tax increment financing. In addition, any owner of property within the zone was provided a reasonable opportunity to speak for or against the inclusion of their property within the proposed amendment boundaries of the zone in accordance with the Act. At the close of the public hearing, the City Council will consider approval of the final tax increment reinvestment zone project and financing plan for the zone, including the amendment and boundary expansion referenced above. These actions are necessary to support ongoing redevelopment efforts within the zone and to implement the participation agreement with Denton County. This item was continued at the December 1st, 2025 City Council meeting, and it is recommended that the City Council approve the ordinances set forth in the caption above. We do have Marichelle Samples, our Director of Economic Development and Tourism, and Jordan Sawyer, NTX Regional Director for P3 Works, available for questions, and the public hearing is now open. If I have no comments or questions regarding the public hearing, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you please vote. Motion passes 4-0. Council, I'll entertain a motion. Once the computer catches up with us. There we go.
Motion to approve the ordinance set forth in the, I guess not me.
That's there. It's Patrick, you're there.
Motion to approve the ordinance set forth in the caption.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Council, if you please vote. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, Council. Item C2, public hearing. This one's going to be entertaining to read. I'm just going to tell you that now. Consideration of an ordinance of the Lewisville City Council amending the zoning ordinance by rezoning approximately 35.694 acres of land legally described as Lakeside Crossing, lots 1 through 5 and 6X, Block A, lots 1 through 7 and 8X, Blocks B, lots 1 through 21 and 22X through 23X, Block C, lots 1 through 23, Block D, lots 1 and 2, Block E, lots 1 through 8 and 9X, Block F, lots 1 through 8 and 9X, Block G, lots 1 through 8 and 9X, Blocks H, lots 1 through 6 and 7X, Block I, lots 1 through 3 and 4X, Block J, lots 1 through 18 and 19X through 21X, Block K, lots 1 through 22 and 23X through 24X, Block L, lots 1 through 19 and 20X by 21X, Block M, lot 1X, Block N, lots 1 through 23 and 24X, Block O, lot 1, Block P, lot 1X, Block Q, lots 1 through 30 and 31X through 32X, Block R, 1R and Lot 1X, Block S, located at the northern terminus of Summit Avenue on the west side of IH-35E and the east side of McGee Lane, from Planned Development Mixed-Use PDMU District Zoning to Planned Development Mixed-Use PDMU District Zoning, correcting the official zoning map, preserving all other portions of the zoning ordinance, determining that the zoning amendment herein made promotes the health, safety, and general welfare of the city, providing for a savings clause, repeal or severability, a penalty, and an effective date as requested by Hannah Haber McAdams on behalf of Merdad Moyadi, MM Frontera LLC, and WBWT LS Frontera LLC, the property owners, case number 25-08-4-PZ. I've got another career as an auctioneer, I think. Administrative comments. Lakeside Crossing is a mixed-use development currently under development within the Northern Gateway Plan area in the core subdistrict of the IH-35E Corridor Overlay District and in an area identified as an identity focal point in the Lewisville 2025 plan. The planned development was initially approved in April 2021 and has been revised twice, December 2021 and October 2022. The applicant is requesting amendments to the Urban Living District and mixed-use districts of the PD to allow up to 10,000 square feet of the mixed-use district to be built as retail-ready, to reduce the multifamily count in the urban living district from 794 units to 680 units with an updated concept plan, and to add a new section in the PD to allow staff approval of minor amendments. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended unanimous approval 6-0 on November 18th, 2025. It is recommended that the City Council approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption above, and we do have Mr. Richard Lukey, our Planning Director, available for questions. With that, the public hearing is now open. I do have Randy Rivera, Kevin Kuntz, and Matthew Dawson all available for any questions. They do not wish to speak on the item, but they are here if you need them. Council, any questions or comments?
Yeah, a quick comment. This looks like this is going to be a fantastic development. I'm really excited about what we're going to be doing out there on Lakeside West. And with that, I motion to close the public hearing.
I second.
All right, I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Council, if you please vote. Motion passes 4-0. Public hearing is now closed, and then I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance.
Move to approve the ordinance as set forth in the caption.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you please vote. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Item D, Visitors Forum. Speakers must address their comments to the mayor rather than to individual council members or staff. Speakers should speak clearly and state their name and address prior to beginning their remarks. Speaker will be allowed 5 minutes for testimony. Speakers making personal, impertinent, profane, or slanderous remarks may be removed from the meeting. Unauthorized remarks from the audience, stamping of feet, whistles, yells, clapping, and similar demonstrations will not be permitted. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the City Council is restricted from discussing or taking action on items not listed on the agenda. Action can only be taken on a future meeting, and I don't believe we have any public requests. All right, so with that, Visitors Forum is done. We'll go ahead and move on to the consent agenda. All the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the council and being acted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or member of the public so requests. For a member of the public to request removal of an item, a speaker card or e-comment must be filled out and submitted to the city secretary. I don't believe we have any requests to remove anything from the consent agenda. Council, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Council, if you please vote. Item passes 4-0. Item F, regular hearing. 7, consideration of a resolution acknowledging the 2026 for public services cost of service rates for franchise solid waste and recycling services, and consideration of an ordinance amending the fee schedule of the City of Lewisville by amending fees related to solid waste and recycling service, providing a repeal or a savings clause, severability, and effective date. On November 16, 2020, the City Council approved an exclusive franchise agreement for the collection of residential garbage, refuse, yard waste, bulky waste, recyclables, containerized waste, and multifamily recycling with the Allied Waste Systems Incorporated, doing business as Republic Services of Lewisville. Ordinance number 0277-11-ORD became effective January 1, 2021, establishing the terms of the agreement. Per the agreement, the cost of service rates are to be adjusted annually by the percentage increase in the garbage and trash index for the Dallas-Fort Worth area for the preceding 12-month period. Adjustments take effect on January 1st of the subsequent subsequent contract year. The current garbage and trash index for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, reflects an increase of 5.97%. Per the contract, cost adjustments shall not exceed 5% in any contract year and 15% in any 4 consecutive years. As a result of this calculation, the Republic Service cost of service rates will increase by 4% effective January 1st, 2026, based on the 4-year limitation. It's recommended that the City Council approve the resolution and ordinances set forth in the caption above. Council, I'll entertain a motion. Unless there's any questions or comments.
Motion to approve the resolution as and ordinance is set forth in the caption.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Council, if you please vote. Motion passes 4-0. Item G, reports. Reports about items of community interest regarding which no action will be taken. First up, for those of you who follow, we have a quarterly investment report for the period of July 1st through September 30th, 2025 in our packets, our supplemental packets, but those are also always available to the public. So if you have questions on that, I don't believe council has any questions. And item 2 is city council and staff reports. Our Director of Parks and Recreation, Ms. Stacy Anaya, has a report.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council members, park fans. So it's impossible for the Parks and Recreation to do what we do on a daily basis and be successful without park fans who are willing to give their time, treasure, talent, blood, sweat, tears, all of the above to what we do, to stand beside us. And I'm happy to announce that at the November 4th Texas Recreation Park Society North Region Workshop and Conference, that Cindy Meredith was recognized as the Advocate of the Year for her efforts not only with the Lewisville Park Alliance, but remember she started this with us as a park board member, and how much she volunteers as a Thrive ambassador and during service Saturdays. So it was an honor to nominate her, and it was special that she was chosen as the Advocate of the Year. We're very proud of her to be in our Legion of Park fans.
There's a lot of park fans around here, not very many award-winning park fans. That's pretty impressive. All right. Councilmember Kelly?
Mayor, you're going to make me follow that with an EPC meeting update. Well, we're going to do our best here. So the Emergency Preparedness Planning Council, we met on December 4th, and to handle business, just a regular meeting. Just a few things to note. Let's see. Lewisville is back in our spot for another term. There's a vote held for the 50,000, 99 to 100,000 category from DeSoto, Rowlett, and Salina. I'm not quite sure how that turned out yet. There was 3 different funding frameworks because we're unsure of the funding that we're going to get in the coming year. 1.7 million, 1.4 million, 2 million. We did most of our discussion around the 1.4 million level area. Let's see. The statewide emergency radio infrastructure SERI grant had made a $20 million statewide with a $2 million cap per eligible entity. Approvals were requested and submitted for SERI to approve. The 2025 SHSP allocation remains on hold due to pending lawsuits. This is, looks like there's a lawsuit out of Illinois, and some other people have joined as well. I think this is what's holding this up. This is basically around some mandates around immigration enforcement in order to receive anti-terrorism funding. So that's holding up some of the funding. There's a huge exercise, Metro X, that happened in late October. That consisted of about 3,000 people, volunteers of victims, and multiple hospitals, 310 organizations, 11 tactical sites, 12 EOCs, and 17 hospitals, and 3 fusion centers. This is a great exercise. We have World Cup coming to our area soon, and these types of things that attract a lot of folks, they're targets. And this is how our area practices to make sure we're ready for that sort of thing. And then finally, on a different note, yesterday, 3 awesome events. We got to explore all the different faiths, I think, or at least some of the major faiths. We had a Jamakata event with we had a Smiley event with the Jamakana packing 100,000 meals. We did make that event. We did make that number. That's benefiting North Texas Food Bank, Minnie's Pantry, Metro Service, City Square, Six Stones, and Mission Central, Texas. There's a great event at Westside Baptist Men's Choir Councilman Tipton, we were looking for you up there. We know you sing in the choir, but we couldn't find you.
I was at home.
At home, okay, very good, all right. It was still a great event, even without Councilmember Tipton up there. There are choirs and choruses from across the area, probably 6 or 7 of them, and they did a big impromptu session at the very end. And then finally, we had the Jabbat of Carrollton, Lewisville for menorah lighting. It was great to bring some light into the darkness, especially in light of some recent events that happened over in Australia. About 200 people attended this year. That's probably at least 100% increase from last year. I think it was a little better advertised, but it was really nice to see all the people gathering out there. And that is it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Tipton?
Yes, I'd like to thank the Lewisville Fire Department for allowing me to go out and do the Santa ride out. That was great. I hope we keep it up. Thank you.
Couple shout outs. I also went to the Westside Baptist Church men's choir. That was very good. If you haven't been to that, go to that next year. Also wanted to say I enjoyed the last event of the 100-year celebration at the Lewisville Grand Theater and the mayoral roundup. That was very good as well. It was nice to see from 1970s through 2000 to current. That was very well for those that didn't attend the movie. I'm sure it will be broadcast online. A couple of library events for the week, and also a notice that the library will be closed Wednesday, December 17th and Thursday, December 18th, while crews replace the building HVAC system. It will reopen regular hours at 9 a.m. on Friday again. A couple events, December De-Stress for Teens, age 13-18, Tuesday, December 16th, 4:30 to 6, Bennett Program Room, no registration is required. And Story Time at Dragon Park for families with children of all ages, Friday, December 19th, 10 to 10:30 at Dragon Park. No registration or ticket is required. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Troyer?
I'll just echo some of the comments that Councilmember Kelly made about the Jamaica 100,000 meals. It was a great event. I haven't heard kids yell so much when they filled a box full of food. It was amazing to hear them cheer each other on and you know, when they were working. So it was great. And then the menorah lighting was definitely, we need light, and it was a great event. So, and I just want to say, wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Because I think we don't see each other until after that.
This is our last councilman meeting for the year. Yes, sir.
That's correct.
City Manager? Now, on that note, I want to thank you all for working with me and creating a really, in my world, has been a really great 2025. I couldn't ask for a better team of folks up here. I couldn't ask for a better team of folks out there, and I couldn't ask for better residents to get the feedback needed to be able to make sure that we continue to move forward. It's been a great year. I would encourage everybody, as you're starting to wind down your year, be looking at what you're going to be doing for 2026 for your mental health, to get rid of the stress in your life, maybe to get off of Facebook. Some of you maybe have been seeing where I've been posting about my reading. I hadn't read for a long time. I got tied up. I'd scroll my phone. I'd doom scroll that nonsense. And I made a commitment last year to read a book a week. And so I'm making that commitment again. You can find me on Facebook. I'm going to create a small group. I would love to see what you're reading. Maybe we can all, use that thing for good, and encourage each other to, get out there, broaden our horizons, get a little more educated, and make connections. This whole year is about making connections, and I think every year from here on out, as long as we've got an entire digital ecosystem that's designed to split us, because what you see on that social media is not what I see, is not what they see. It's all what the algorithm decides to feed you, and suddenly the entire world looks like that, and it's not that way. It's not. They're your neighbors, they're your friends. Everybody out there is just another person trying to get along. And so I think in the reason for this season is that we need to build more community. We need to get stronger at it. We need to get better at it. And I think we've got an amazing team here to do it. I'm so excited about what's available and what's coming for 2026. And I hope you all join me in building community next year. With that, there is no further action to be taken on tonight's agenda. We stand adjourned. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.